Hi, I'm Curt Frye. In this movie, I would like to show you how to generate a schedule for a 12-team sports league. On my first slide here, I have the fixtures for the 8th of February 2026 from the Eastern Region Women's Football League in England. There are 12 teams, and all of them were in action on this day, starting with Enfield Town versus Atletico London and the other 5 matches below. It's easy to put together matches for 1 week, but it can be very difficult to put it together for an entire season. So what goes into that? Well, first is that every team plays every other team home and away. So each one of them will have 22 matches. You try to space out the matches between 2 clubs. It's no fun if Atletico London were to play Enfield in the first 2 weeks and then not see them for the rest of the season. I mean, sure, it's possible, and you might have to do that with weather delays, but it's not what you want when you create the original schedule. Also, you want to limit the number of consecutive home or away matches a club will play. It can be tough on supporters and also on players if you have 5 away matches in a row, for example. And also, you should build up the schedule so that it will allow clubs to request specific dates home or away. That's not something that we can do with the original schedule. However, we can find a way to do that later, and it's a long-term goal that I'd like to keep you in mind. So with that in mind, how in fact do we generate a season schedule? And there are many ways to do it, but I found one that actually doesn't require a lot of work. But for this, I will need to go to an external website. When I was thinking about how to approach this problem, I thought of what's called a Latin square. And if I scroll down on this website, which was created by Professor Damien Masson from the University of Montreal, then I see that he created something called a balanced Latin square generator. And let's go down to take a look at this 3x3 example. A Latin square is an n by n array filled with n different symbols, each occurring exactly once in each row and exactly once in each column. And you can see that here. So we have A, B, and C, C, A, and B, and B, C, and A. Also note that because this is symmetric, A, C, and B, B, A, and C C, B, and A would also be a valid solution. And I thought I could use this arrangement to create unique schedule weeks. So in other words, I don't have necessarily a usable schedule, but I have a set of weeks where I can have all possible matchups so that our clubs will play each other team home and away. And that is, as it turns out, something that is possible using a Latin square. So I'll scroll back up, and we have 12 teams in our league. So I will change the number of conditions and the square size to 12, press enter, and there is the Latin square. What I can do now is to download this file to a comma-separated value file on my computer and then open it in Excel and start making the changes that I need. I've already done that, and if you want to follow along, you can either download the file I'm about to show you or create your own through here and see what it looks like. For now, I will switch over to Excel and take a look at the file that I downloaded. I have taken the Latin square.csv file and I have renamed it as sportschedule.xlsx. You can download this version of the file using the link that I provide in the video description below. I have also centered the letters within the cells so they are easier to read. So I have 12 teams in my league, and I'm going to want to do a lot of lookups later. So that means that rather than having letters representing each of the clubs, I should have numbers. I happen to know that these letters are represented by numbers if I use the code function. So I'll go down and click in cell A14, type equal, and then do code, and the text will be the cell in A1, or will be the value in A1. So right parentheses and enter, and I get the value of 65. I would like for A to be team number 1, so I will edit the formula. So it's actually code of A1 minus 64, and I get my 1. Now I'll copy the formula down to cell A25, and then I will copy it over so that I have all 12. So I've copied all those values down, and I don't need to use the formula anymore. So I will press Control-C to copy the entire region. If you happen to click away, then just reselect it and press Control-C. And then to paste the values, I'll press Control-Shift-V, and the values have been pasted into those cells. So there we have that. And let's take a look at what we have. Well, I have 1 playing 2 in week 1. That's good. 1 playing 4 in week 2. 1 playing 6 in week 3. 1 playing 8 in week 4. 1 playing 10 in week 5. And 1 playing 12 in week 6. So that's promising. I have team 1, an odd-numbered team, playing each of the even-numbered teams. So that, like I said, is very promising. And then here, I have 2 playing 3, 2 playing 5, 2 playing 7, 2 playing 9, and 2 playing 11. And then below that, 2 playing 1. So we wrap back around. So that looks good. I checked the other values before, and we will check them again later. So it looks like I have the first 12 weeks of the schedule created properly. However, I need to have the odd-numbered clubs, in this case 1, play each of the odd-numbered clubs. And yes, I will warn you in advance, clubs will end up playing themselves, which means they just get a week off. But you need to do that because that's how you create schedules so that everyone plays everyone twice. So now let's go down. So I'll scroll down so I have my new values at the top. So if I look at my values, I need to have 1 play 3, then 1 play 5, 1 play 7 to create a complete set. And yes, when 1 plays 12, I will need to handle that as an exception in the formula. So I will copy down cells A14 through A25 to A26, and then do the same thing for cells in column C. And if you're wondering why I'm not copying multiple columns down at the same time, let me show you what happens. So I will select G14 through G25, and then I14 through I25, copy, and then if I were to paste, then they're pasted next to each other. So I actually do kind of need to copy all of them down individually. And I only have 1 more to go, so it's actually not that much work. So we'll do that for column K, and there we are. So now I have chosen to increase the numbers. So I will add 1 in B26 to the value that we'll find in B14. So I will do equal B14 plus 1, enter. And we'll see what happens if I leave that alone when I copy that down. I have a match of Team 11 against Team 13, and of course we don't have one. That should in fact be a match against Team 1. So what I will do is create an if function, or an if formula. So if B14 plus 1 is greater than 12, then make the value 1. Otherwise, make it B14 plus 1. So no change there. And if I copy the formula down, then we have 11 playing 1 instead of 13, so everything works out as it should. With those cells selected, I'll do Control-C to copy the formulas. So click in D26, F26, H26, J26, and L26. And there we have our matchups. And yes, you can see over on the side, we have all the teams playing each other. So 8 plays 8, 9 plays 9, continuing all the way down. But again, we need that so that we can have all of our other matchups that we need for everyone to play everyone else twice, home and away during the season. And then I don't want formulas. I do, in fact, want actual values. So I'll select A26 through L37, Control-C, Control-Shift-V, and there are the values. So it appears that we have created a complete selection of match weeks. In this case, there are 24, which we need, again, to make sure everyone plays everyone else twice, despite there only being 12 teams, and 22 matches per team. But what I want to do is verify that we do, in fact, have all of the possible matchups. So 1 plays 2, 1 plays 3, all the way down to 12, and the same for every other club. So I'll go back up to the top, and then I'll go to cell N1, and here I will type home and away. So those will be my headers. Then in N2, how am I going to display these values? Well, the first thing I will do is create a column with all of the cells. So I'm going to put 1 in the first cell, then 2 in the second cell. So in cell N2, I'll type equal, and then 2, column, and the array will be A14 all the way down to L37. And then right parentheses and enter. And I get all of those values as a column. But I actually want to have a row where 1 plays 2, 12 plays 3. So I need to edit my formula. So I'm creating rows. So I'll do wrap rows. The vector is the 2-column formula that I created before, comma, 2. We'll wrap after every second value. And there we go. I have home and away for each of the matches. Except, of course, that now I can't actually read any of these values. In other words, it's very hard and would take a lot of time to go through and make sure that 1 plays 2, 1 plays 3, and in fact 1 plays 1. But what I can do is to sort these values. So I'll click cell N2, press Control-A, so that selects them. And then I'll type, or rather press Control-C to copy the array, then Control-Shift-V to paste the values back in. And then with these still selected, on the Home tab, I will go to Sort and Filter, click Custom Sort. The first level will be Home, and cell value smartest to largest is fine. Add level, away, again, smallest to largest, okay. And there I have my values sorted and ready to go. And again, this is just for verification. We won't use it anywhere else. So I have 1 playing everyone from 1 to 12, 2 playing everyone from 1 to 12, and if you scroll down through the rest of the values, you will see that we have in fact generated all possible matchups, and as it turns out, each of these weeks can be rearranged to create a schedule based on restrictions that we put in, such as consecutive home games and the number of weeks between when a team plays its opponent at its home game and its away game. So this is a lot, but there are a couple of reasons that I wanted to show you how to create a schedule using a Latin square. The first is I actually think it's really cool. I mean, yes, I'm a terrible nerd. I am an amazing nerd. And when I discovered and realized that we could do something like this, it's a tool not being used for its original purpose, but for something extremely useful. So it was fun. And also, the techniques that I'll show you in the rest of this playlist are useful for any kind of sport league. So whether it's football, soccer in the US, or hockey, field hockey or ice hockey, any of those things, if you need to generate a schedule for your sporting organization, then the techniques that I show you here can be adapted for the size of your league and also to create a schedule. And my goal is that you don't have to pay anyone else to do it. It becomes easier for you to do it. You don't have to think about it. And also you can adapt what I've shown you for your own needs and for your own league. So I'm going to take a while to show you how to build up a scheduling workbook, but I think in the end, it's going to be very much worth it. So thank you for watching this first video in the series. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to my channel.